So, one of the things you hear most often from people about why they don't shoot or why they get frustrated with photography is, I don't live in an exciting place. It's real boring where I live. There's nothing really good to photograph around here. And let's face it, we all live in pretty boring places, right? Because wherever you live, you get accustomed to what's around you, what you see all the time. And since you're so familiar with it, it becomes boring. But the fact is, there's things to photograph for all of us wherever we live. Now, I live in what some people might consider one of the most boring places imaginable. I live in the suburbs. But one thing that's nice about it is that you can travel 30, 45 minutes and I can be in downtown Atlanta and I can take photographs in the city if I want to. I can also go the other direction and photograph nature and wildlife, and you kind of get the best of both worlds. You can do both of those things, and that's pretty exciting to me. But tonight, I stayed in the suburbs. So I'm within about 10 miles of my house. Took me maybe 10, 15 minutes to get here. And I'm at the kind of place that exists for most of us. Most of us live within driving distance of one of these places. It's just a basic outdoor shopping center. And while this might seem boring and oh, there's nothing there to take pictures of, the truth is if you look around, slow down, take your time, you can actually find some interesting things to take pictures of in a place like this. Now, I had a particular shot in mind when I came out here. You see, there's a fountain right in front of the Regal Cinemas, and what I was hoping to do was to set up a tripod and get a long exposure shot of the fountain, get the different colors from the lights with the movie theater neon in the background. Unfortunately, I was a little too late to do that. The fountain had already been shut down, but I salvaged it and I was able to get a shot that was, I think, just as interesting. All right, so I'm outside of the theater. The fountain's right in front of me. The fountain's shut off. There are still some lights on in it, but what I decided to do instead was go to the other side of the fountain and catch the reflection of the theater lights in the fountain pool. I set up and I got my shot, and I'm pretty happy with it. Now, I did walk around a little more after that, and I really think that that's the shot that I like from this night out in the suburbs. But the point is, I did take some other pictures, and I did have the fun of finding those compositions and trying to set them up, get the lighting right, get the shot off, and while I didn't get the results that I wanted from them, I wasn't that happy with how the pictures came out. I did have a night out walking around, trying to find things to take pictures of, and I know that I got at least one good shot out of it. Wherever you happen to live, and no matter how boring you think it might be, just grab your camera, go out and see what you can find. You'd be surprised how you look at things differently through the viewfinder of a camera than you do just walking around, shopping or going to a restaurant. You pick up on things that you wouldn't necessarily notice otherwise. That's why I like to take my camera to places that are familiar to me and get some good shots. You see, photography isn't just about traveling to exotic locations. I mean, we can't all hop on an airplane and fly to Iceland just to take some pictures. We're not all going to get those stunning vista panoramic landscape shots that everybody dreams about, but that doesn't mean that we can't take pictures, and it doesn't mean that we can't take good pictures. It's all about looking around you and seeing things differently. Looking at things and finding the beauty, finding the interest, and if there isn't any interest, create some. Like catching the reflection of the theater lights in a pool that should have been a fountain, right? Okay, so last night I went to a shopping area that's nearby my house, trying to show that you can get good pictures even if you think you live in a boring area. today, I'm taking it a step further. I'm even closer to my house. I've literally just walked down the street in the neighborhood that I live in, and there's a little wooded area back here next to the high school, and the high school cross-country team has a trail back here where they train. Now, this is not a large area. There's not a lot of woods here, but it's a nice little strip. It's an easy place to walk, and it's easy to get to. This is actually a location that I come to quite a bit, not because it has the best scenery or the best things to take pictures of, but because it's close, it's easy to get to, and it gets me out with my camera to practice taking pictures. Now, I'm not trying to sound preachy with this video. I mean, I get it. Believe me, there are a lot of times that I feel exactly the same way, that I live in a boring area, there's nothing really nice to take pictures of, and it discourages me from going out and using my camera. And that's what I'm trying to get across. Airplane. The point I'm trying to make is that wherever you happen to live, there's something around you that's worth photographing. And we just have to overcome that sense of, not good enough to be able to get out and take the pictures that we want to take. And I think where a lot of that comes from is social media. We look at Instagram, we scroll through these feeds of people that are traveling all over the world to these fantastic landscapes. They've got great locations for portrait shoots, and we get jealous of that. Even on YouTube. You watch YouTube videos about taking pictures, and people are traveling all over the world. People are flying to Iceland. People are going to, the West, the Rocky Mountains. They're going to these islands, taking great beach videos. And we think, well, I don't have anything like that around me, so what's the point of even going out? Well, the point is that wherever you live, it's unique to someone out there, and somebody is going to want to see it. Plus, we bought a camera to use it, right? So go out and use it. Go out and find something to take pictures of. And along those same lines, there's a question that we have to ask ourselves. Am I taking pictures for someone else, or am I taking pictures for me? Personally, I'm taking pictures for me. I'm doing it because I enjoy doing it. I enjoy finding something that I can create a composition out of, taking the picture, maybe taking it from several different angles, going back, editing it, maybe posting it online, maybe not, maybe get a print made to hang up, maybe not. But the point is, I'm taking pictures for me. I'm not taking them for Instagram likes, and I'm not even taking them for my YouTube videos. I'm doing it because it's something that I enjoy doing. And that's what you should do too. So this is one of my favorite places to stop along this little trail. There's a little stream here that runs through, and most of it's pretty boring, kind of flat water, a lot of leaves in it. Doesn't really look that great, but there's this one little section that has some nice large flat rocks on the bottom, and it creates some texture to the water. It creates a little bit of interest. So that's what I do, is I go out and I try to find the places that I can find something small that has a little bit of interest to it, isolate it in my frame, and try to make an interesting picture out of it. So let's give it a shot. Okay, so I got a couple of shots there that I think I'm gonna like. I got to play around a little bit with dialing my aperture down, went down to f8 and then down to f11 so that I could slow my shutter speed down. I don't have a neutral density filter, so I have to dial down my aperture. It is kind of an overcast day. We're in here under the trees, so it's kind of dark in here, and I was able to dial my aperture down and slow my shutter speed down to get some of the blurring of the water coming over the rocks, which I like. And so those turned out kind of nice, I think. And there was also a log laying there that looked like from somebody's backyard fire that they'd had, maybe over Memorial Day. And that made a nice subject for a picture of the log in the water. So just trying to find little things like that and take pictures of them. And anybody can find stuff like this, no matter where you live. We're coming up on actually one of my favorite spots along this trail. It's a place that I've used for portrait images before, kind of environmental portraits. The reason that I like it so much is that you take the picture from back here on the trail, And there's one spot where there's a rise in the trail and there's an opening in the canopy above, and it creates sort of this halo of light in this one little area. It's kind of hard to tell on an overcast day like today, but I'll show you what I'm talking about. And what I like to do is place the subject right on that rise in the light and then stand back on the trail and take a picture of them. Now, since I'm here by myself today, I can't really show you exactly how that works, but I'll try and demonstrate it as best I can. Okay, so I'm set up on my tripod, and this is the area that I was telling you about, where the light comes down through the trees. There's a little rise in the trail where I like to place a subject and take a portrait. Now, like I said, it's a little overcast today, so the effect isn't quite as pronounced as it would be on, say, a sunny day, but it is still there a little bit. And in order to show you how this works, I'm going to try and do a self-portrait in that location. Anybody, wherever you live, there's going to be some kind of location like this where you can take a picture similar to this and nobody has to know where it was taken. I mean, if you post this on Instagram, you don't have to tell people that this is on a cross-country trail for the local high school that's down the street from your house. Honestly, most people don't really care where a picture is taken as long as it looks nice. So, don't get down on yourself because of your location. Now, let's try this self-portrait. All right, so admittedly, I'm no model, but at least I was able to demonstrate the principle that I was talking about here, and I think you can kind of get the idea. I've also got some older pictures that I've done here using this same technique. Maybe I'll dig through and see if I can find one of those to put up for you, give you a little better idea of the kind of results you can get with something like this. I've covered two different locations here, both within easy reach of my home. One that I had to drive to and one that I could just walk to. And I promise you, wherever you're at, there's something like this. Go out and find these places. Find a shopping center, find a trail through the woods, find a park. Anywhere that's around you, you can take pictures. You can find things to get pictures of. And I hope this inspires you to go out and find those places that are close to you and look at them with a fresh set of eyes. Look around your home like you've never seen it before, because trust me, it's challenging for me to look at things in a fresh way and find things that I think might be interesting here close to my boring little hometown stuck in the suburbs. But if I can do it, you can do it. So go out, take pictures, and have fun doing it. Thanks.